Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of one band, Dave Matthews Band. If this is your very first time listening to this podcast, welcome. This one is going to be a little different, or a lot different than every other episode, because this is my annual Christmas special. So, of course, here I do have a guest on this episode, though, and I'm so excited because he's like the yearly guest, and that just makes I can at least get him on the show once a year, and it's for this one right here. So let me let my guest introduce himself like everyone else on the show has to do.
Fair enough. Hello out there. My name is Justin Lipsmeyer. I have the privilege of being married to this young lady right here, Miss Renae Lipsmeyer.
Is 46 young?
Yes.
I guess to like an 80-year-old it is,
Absolutely.
but to a 20-year-old, I'm like an old witch.
I'm not 80. Okay? I'm actually a little younger than
I know, I'm older than you.
Yeah.
Santa has a surprise for
I
you,
mean,
right? Every year. I'm older. But guys, welcome to this little bit different podcast. We just like to do this because, number one, Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, of course, because we get to celebrate with our friends and family. And to me, that means so much to get to celebrate and reflect on the year that we've had, which 2025 has been an amazing year. And we're grateful that we have friends and family that we can even see during the holidays. So many people are without family or friends, and they're often alone on these holidays. Often holidays are so tough for so many because of the things that have happened in 2025. I know that a lot of you listening can understand that. Grief has been part of my year. My father passed away in October,
But we're here for you. We love y'all. We appreciate you watching this and listening to this. And we just wanted to share a little bit of our Christmas cheer, holiday cheer with y'all, and just have a nice little fun episode of thankfulness and celebrating each other.
yes. Well, I have two other guests that I guess want to make their appearance, but cannot speak. Well, at least speak in English or in human, whatever you want to call it, because they're not human. They are the stars of our house. We have Bella Jewel here, and then Jake Charlie. I'm not going to move him because it is highly likely that if I touch him, he'll do something like bark or make sounds or not want me to stop touching him. And so we have our two little dogs here. We love our dogs, and we have our grand cat just on the other side of the camera. He makes his appearance whenever our son comes home from college. And so it's always a lot of fun here in our household for Christmas. We're excited about Christmas Eve. We're about to head to my mom's. She does a yearly tradition. She's been doing it for 15 years, which is as old as my youngest biological daughter. She started that the year she was born, and she loves to do it. She has a big party. I mean, how do you describe this party?
Well, lots of food. We're not allowed to bring anything. She takes care of all the food, all the treats, the snacks, all the Christmas goodies that you could think of, the fudge and the chocolate and the cookies and et cetera, et
The
cetera.
chocolate house?
But that's not
my gosh.
that's not my favorite part. My favorite part has always been the competition.
Yes.
We do games. We do very fun, different, random. I mean, some you could say Christmas games. They have Christmas names a lot of the times, but just some fun, random things that we get to compete in, and we get little prizes, and the overall winner gets a little prize themselves. And I have won it a couple of times, and I did not win it last year though. So I've got to up my game this year.
I know, because you
I do.
actually do. Yeah, you get like a trophy some years. We
Yes.
never know what's going to happen. But what I do know is at least my side of the family is very competitive. We show up to win, and that's what we plan on doing this year and every year. So, Mom, when you listen to this, you'll know the answer already, whether we've won or not. But I'm predicting the future, and it looks like a good year for the Lipsmeyer Burt family.
Amen.
We do all kinds of competitions in our family. When I first met Justin and we were dating and then on into our early married years, we did food, we did competitive cooking. And so we love spending family time. We don't get enough of it. I don't think anyone can, but we get it. And we're so thankful that we live in a area where our whole family lives. On both sides of our families, all the cousins, all the brothers and sisters. And, he has a few sisters that live a little bit further away, but for the most part, we always see them on the regular. And so we're just so thankful again to be in 2025 celebrating with the ones that we love. So let's do a little reflecting 2025, because that's a big part of the end of the year. Is just like, okay, what did we accomplish this year? What did we get done? What did we love? What did we not like? What did we learn from, maybe some hard lesson? Like, what were some things that started in 2025? And I'm trying to remember. It honestly feels like
A
2 years
blur,
ago.
right?
Like it went by fast, but also I can't remember.
Some years, what is that they say? The days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so
It is
true.
true. It's
So,
very true.
I'm trying to think. January, February, March. Let's just go with the first quarter of the year. What
Well,
did we do?
you went to Mexico.
I did. January was a lovely year.
Someone's going back next month also.
I am. I'm very thankful for that.
So I know you did that.
Yeah, and let me give you a little secret for those of you, and because I think that this is worth mentioning, because Mexico's expensive. And when I tell people that I'm going to Mexico, I don't want anyone to ever think, well, she's like a millionaire, because that is not the case. Podcasting pays $0.00, and that is my job right now. So I'm not a wealthy woman, but here's what I know. You can go to Moon Palace, which is the resort that D&T is at every year. You can just come in, book through booking.com. The only thing you do not get is the access to the actual concert. So that's what we did. We saved some money. We got a really good deal. So we're going to be on campus with all of the things. We'll have all of the abilities that everyone else does, access to everything except for the concert. But, when you know a few people that have the perfect view from their room, that's free. That is free. And so, yeah, but honestly, like I could talk to anyone and make friends with anyone. Well, not anyone. We know that not everyone is, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but like, thankfully, I've gotten to know some people. And so the concert part this year will be free. So I'm just saying all that to say, do not think that the prices that are reflected at, daveandtimmexico.com or whatever the website is the final number, because it is not. It is not the only way you can go. And so learning all those tricks, and I've talked about that on podcasts before this one, just learning the travel tips is something that's been such a huge help in maneuvering, wanting to get to DMB shows or DMT shows, like whatever show, DMTB shows. Like I can give you all the acronyms of like, if you want to travel to see music, there's some things you can learn, some point systems, and just, all the things. And so I go on a discount, and I don't mean that because I get a discount from anyone. I just book, and I don't book. I don't get access to the shows. But if you've ever been to Mexico, you know that like I might not see the stage from the pool, but damn, I could be in the pool and listen to the whole show. So I'm really cool. It's all about the people that are there. I'm excited to be there again this year and just connect with people. The podcast has really seen a lot of growth in 2025. And so we want that to continue.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's not, it's just been 3 years. It's been really quick. And I'm so thankful for everybody that sees value in what we're trying to do here, which is simply document the fan side of Dave Matthews Band. And I think that that's half the story. I know that that's half the story, because without us, there would be no them. And without them, there would be no us. And so it's 50-50. And that's right. It's a whole thing. And I'm thankful to get to share the fan journey. Do I think that Dave Matthews Band knows about the podcast? Hell yes, they do. And some of the team,
Sean,
yeah,
Jeff,
like, hey, everybody.
Buddy.
Hey, everybody that watches this, that works for DMB, DMTB, DNT, like whoever you work for, thanks for watching the show. We're so thankful that you guys have picked up that these are stories of hope, stories of love, stories of forgiveness, stories, anything you can name up, just happy times. Like, hey, I had this concert experience and it blew my mind. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm the girl that wants to hear all that. There's probably not a lot of people in your life other than your Dave family that want to hear, genuinely want to hear everything you know about Dave Matthews Band. But I'm your girl. I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all. And that is what I'm documenting. And it's been so much fun for other people to listen to other people's journeys, how very different they are. Or, hey, maybe we were at the same show. Or, hey, maybe I know that person and I didn't know that about them. There's so many reasons to check the podcast out. So, again, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, this is our Christmas episode. So check out one of almost 200 episodes that are out there, each one with a different guest and a different story. So if you get bored with one, guess what? Skip a couple. See what you like. See what
Check it
tickles your
out.
fancy. Because there's a couple episodes that will tickle your fancy, okay?
Fancy ticklers.
Yeah, I'm a fancy tickler, but like only to him. But in words, like I say a lot of words. I always say that it give you an orgasm, an eargasm.
An eargasm.
An eargasm. I mean, whatever happens, but I can promise an ear, nothing else. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. That is a gift that I appreciate. So let's, hey, I ain't worried about talking about it. I'm appreciative every year that I'm appreciative. So,
and even if you have been listening to the show, say you've been listening to the show for a long time, you're a longtime fan. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. But say you haven't shared your story and maybe you're ready to share your story, or maybe you haven't thought about it in a while, and maybe it's something you might want to think about here in the future. But without your stories, this show doesn't exist.
No, because no one wants to hear me talk every episode. I mean, I do talk every episode.
I do.
But like, I can't, I've shared my story and I want to say hundreds, but I can't quite say that yet because I'm not over 200, but I'm going to say it because it's going to be that way in 2026. Hundreds of people have shared their journey. And so you're not alone. There's no story too small, too big, too complicated, too long. There's no right person. It's every person fits into this podcast.
There's no wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Look, see, what would I do without him? The word thing is very hard for me.
It's grammar. It's grammar.
I speak English, but I speak a
English.
version of English, okay? I'm not for sure what version that is. Maybe like
Country
Arkansas.
version.
Oh, no. Woo pig Siri. So April, May, June. Okay, when did tours start in 2025? Where did they open? Okay, it was Woodstock.
Yeah, I was going to say New York. But
yeah, that was awesome. I didn't get to go. Did I want to go? Yeah, that's like asking,
New York,
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Something like that. We saw all the pictures, all the videos. Of course, we were watching from the couch tour. It looked like it was pretty cold. And so, there's no bad Dave show, but there are few shows where you're like in your jackets, freezing. Like that doesn't happen very often.
If you're cold at a Dave show, just start dancing.
Yeah.
It'll warm right up.
Yeah, I don't know. We weren't there, but it looked like a good time. And then the closer of 2025, of course, the Gorge.
Yep. No fall tour, which I think people were upset about, but I understand they probably needed a break. They've been touring, seems like nonstop for several years, since 2021, basically, when they got back out again.
Yeah.
They've just been going and going and going, and we've enjoyed a lot of those shows.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it, but I just, from my nursing background, I'm like, okay, we got to rest our bones, guys. We're in our 50s and 60s here. We've got to rest our bones and just get some family time to let their heart fill back up so that they can continue writing and playing. Because we all know what it feels like, to have Justin fills my cup every day. And if I couldn't be around him every day, then I would always be less than 100%. And so they need that just as well as we do, to see their children, to see their grandchildren, all of the things that are beautiful about the season. So we're excited that they took some time off. Did we miss? Yes, of course. But we know that they're back on the road in 2026. Well, actually, do we know? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I really firmly believe it. We've seen rumors, and, rumors are rumors. None of the information came from Dave Matthews Band. However, let's talk about connections again, okay? Let's talk about connections. Sometimes girls in Arkansas have connections to people at places where
sometimes
bands
guys
play,
and
sometimes you just never know. But what I do know is I think everyone should book a trip to Northwest Arkansas early May, mid-May. Let's say mid-May. Your airport code is going to be XNA for North Arkansas. I don't even know what that's for. Just like, welcome to NWA, and not the rap group, but that is where we live, NWA. And we know when we say that, everybody's like, what? are you talking about? I'm like, Northwest Arkansas. You could say Northwest Alabama, whatever A state you got, but we live in Northwest Arkansas.
That's right.
And rumors point to the boys being back in Rogers, Arkansas this year, which makes my heart so happy because I'm from Arkansas. The venue is literally in my backyard. Not literally.
Figuratively.
Yeah. And we're so excited. We've already started planning the day before show because if rumors are correct, they play Rogers, Arkansas on a Tuesday. Now, if you're a longtime fan of Dave Matthews Band, you know you've heard, and this is true about every show, but never miss a Tuesday show, never miss a Wednesday show. They pull out stuff that like that. I mean, never miss a show, right? Like, but that's not realistic. But I know that it hasn't been a venue that a lot of people want to go to. Like, why come to Arkansas? I'm going to give you two reasons: Dave Matthews Band and Renae Lipsmeyer from the Space Between podcast. I am going to throw a party that you won't want to miss. And if there's 1,000 people listening to this, great. But 1,000 people aren't going to show up. But I'm inviting everyone. And so stay tuned for that big pool party announcement. It's going to be the day before the show. So let me give you a scenario. This is just a scenario. I don't know anything. Let's just say the tour opens in Houston. Okay, I'm driving down to Houston. That's going to be a Friday night show. And then, on the way back home, I'll stop by Dallas. I will. It's, do another show maybe on Saturday. See what's happening. Yeah. I don't know.
Check things out
in Dallas. And then it's just 5 hours north. Go through Oklahoma, and then you end up in the teeny tiniest little point of Northwest Arkansas that is right there next to Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas. Just a beautiful little place in the Ozark Boston Mountains. There's a lot of mountains here. And we'll show up Monday, we'll have a party, and then Tuesday we'll have another party. And then Wednesday morning, we breeze out of here on our way to Mississippi. So, hey, if rumors are right, then you heard it first here on the Space Between podcast. And don't forget it.
We'll just say, as far as the Tuesday goes, if you look at your calendar, May the 12th be with you.
Oh, yeah. The 12th should be with you. But you should definitely think about the 11th. And here's some hotel recommendations. Embassy Suite Hotels, Rogers, Arkansas. It is literally right next door to the Walmart.
Their properties border each other.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't get any better, but there are a lot of hotels in that area. So you just want to be in the Pinnacle Promenade area. We're so excited that they have potentially picked Rogers, Arkansas as one of the cities to celebrate 35 years, because that's what 2026 holds for us, is 35 years of Dave Matthews Band. I wanted to look this up before we even started, but I didn't. And you know what? I can take this part out. Let's Google right quick to see how many, or we may not take this part out. Who knows? Surprises on Christmas, right? That's what Christmas is about, surprises, right? So we're going to look up how many bands in general, like in life, have made it to 35 years. Now, with that being said, of course, Dave Matthews Band has done a really good job of 35 years, like almost continuously being on tour, putting out music, that kind of stuff. Of course, there's exceptions to that because of things like COVID, things like back when the Caravan was a thing, and that wasn't exactly like the same as all the other years. There's been years, of course, that we can negotiate on that. But for the most part, 35 years is what we're celebrating no matter what, because 1991 to 2006 is 35 years. There's the math. So let's talk about who band-wise has been able to do 35 years.
So AI on Google has a few listings of popular, well-known bands who've been together for 35 or more years, and I will share the list. In no particular or
so what was you just said 35 years?
35 years or more.
Okay, cool.
Together. They said there's been hundreds of bands that fall under that category throughout all the genres, but the popular ones, or the well-known ones, would be the following. The Rolling Stones since 1962, Beach Boys since 1961, The Who since 1964, Scorpions 1965 for Rock Me Like a Hurricane, Chicago, that was our first concert together, by the way.
Oh, it was so good.
Since 1967. Oh, there was huge horn section. Aerosmith since 1970. Iron Maiden, not a huge fan myself, but that's okay. But I would have
not guessed that.
U2, 1976.
Yeah, totally doable.
Def Leppard, 76. The Cure, 78. Metallica, one of my favorites, 81. And Red Hot Chili Peppers, 1983. Those are the top ones that they listed. So there you have it.
So they didn't have Dave Matthews Band on the list.
Nope.
So we don't know how good that
we put
information is.
We put it on but technically it hasn't been more than 35 years yet.
Right. So AI is
maybe
going to
that's
change
maybe that's
next
why it
year.
was-
You know, I guess technically it's, okay. Well, AI, you got us. But in conversations, like that's what we're in the future celebrating very close to now. And it's hard to believe because I can remember only parts of the last 35 years. I mean, for the most part, I can remember a lot of it, but like 35 years ago, I was 11.
Yeah.
You were 10. Life's changed a little bit.
What?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we've got dogs and kids. Kids are coming in the house now. Come on in. You don't have to. I mean, we're just recording. Say hi to everyone. This is our daughter Grace and our son home from college.
Joshua.
So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can see our dogs and some of our kids and some beautiful lighting. If you're
Look at that
not
lady.
watching this, you have to check this out because do you see her in the background telling me to stop? I'm like the corniest podcaster to her, and that's okay. This show is not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. I think we've already mentioned that. She's going to join into the show.
No, I'm just gonna sit here and awkwardly stare at you.
Okay, well, you're welcome and thank you. So, anyways, we have this amazing fire dancer. It's like when I first saw how bright it was, I mean, loved it, but it reminded me if you're an Office fan, if you've seen the episode, The Dinner Party, which is probably
One
either
of the
one or
top
two.
5.
I don't know. It's like it's very close to one of my top episodes. Michael has a beer sign that he wants to put on the wall, but of course Jan
St.
won't let
Paul's.
him because it's just so intensely bright. This is that brightness. I mean, it is. I've thought about just putting it in the front window, and when people drive by, they're like, "Yep, know what they're about."
So around second weekend of May, this is going to be our bat signal for all of y'all. Once
Well,
we turn it on,
I don't know because it's an actual AC. Like it has to plug into like a. I don't know if we can make it happen.
I'm just joking.
Hey,
babe.
maybe.
It's just a joke.
Maybe.
It-
Let's talk about being identifiable though in 2026. I've just recently bought an outfit and I posted it on Facebook and everyone thought it was a good idea. I'm so thankful that everyone was kind when really you should have said you're going to look like a alien mother. I don't know.
Thought it was a space outfit, personally.
It's going to be so good. I mean, it is the space between. So
She's basically going as a disco ball.
I mean, an astronaut without the helmet, but you will be able to find me in Mexico. If you can't find me, it is because you have a vision issue, and I will be the disco ball. But then again, I won't be at the actual concerts. So
You're going to be, if you're on a balcony though,
find me on the balcony.
Get you a spotlight.
Yeah.
Have it shining on you, and then that will reflect it.
That's Space
everywhere.
Between Podcasts.
And then just start slowly spinning.
Yeah. I mean, I can work that into a dance with Dave and Tim. So
I want to see a video.
That will be video evidence. You know how I roll. I don't care.
You roll.
If I bought the outfit, then obviously I can't be shy about it. You can't show up an outfit and be like, no. I mean, it's like
proud.
Show up and
show out.
Show out. That's what we're doing. So favorite highlights of 2025. Highlights for you 2025 as far as Dave shows.
I really enjoyed the St. Louis show. I thought that was just a great show overall. We got to be in the pit, but then we went back to the lawn late in the set, and I just thought I just really love going to St. Louis. I thought that was a fun trip. We'll be going back again in March for the DMTB, late March.
Matthew's Tribute Band, if you don't know what DMTB
mid-March. I can't remember when now, but anyhow, that was probably one of my most memorable shows.
Yeah, I loved having it in St. Louis because St. Louis is a really cool city, but also it's only 5 hours from our house. So anytime we can drive to a show, I mean, I have this thing with airports. I like to get stuck in them and I like to get my flight delayed. It just is part of how I roll. And so if I can drive somewhere and it's just 5 hours, I know that I can get there and get back unless there's like some kind of catastrophe, or whatever. But
also it was my first trip and we drove my first trip to Deer Creek.
Yes.
I got to go to Deer Creek. That was a lot of fun. I've heard so many things about Deer Creek from so many different people. I had this vision when my wife first went to Deer Creek in 22.
Yeah, 21 or 22.
21 or 22.
All
He said that I would love it because it's surrounded by cornfields.
I say that, yes. I do.
And so I had this in my head that it's in the very middle of nowhere. Kind of like Alpine a little bit is what I was thinking, but just with cornfields everywhere around it. That's not the case. So if you've never been, if you never been there, you're literally like 10 minutes from a pretty sizable city, so you're fine. There's
Yeah.
plenty of places to eat, plenty of places to stay.
But there are cornfields.
But there were cornfields next to it, which was really cool. But I was just thinking it was going to be way out in the middle. I don't know why I thought that, but
Probably
that's
because
what
I
I
said
had in
it
my
that
head.
way, like in the middle of nowhere in these cornfields, because it just struck me so awesome and odd.
Yeah,
Can I
just
say that?
something that you
Awesome
weren't
odd?
expecting.
Odd, awesome. Combine those two words, and that's what Deer Creek is to me. Because, I don't do anything with corn ever except eat it. So if you want to have big fan. Corn and all corn related products, actually. And if you
Cornbread.
know what movie
Cornbread.
that's from, give yourself a high five because I love that movie.
I love corn related products, aka bourbon.
Hey, it
Gotta
takes
be
that
51% corn or more.
to be bourbon. Yes, you do.
So one trip that I forgot about.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, I may have to back up on my favorites because I actually think this next trip I'm about to say was my favorite, and that was Jazz Fest. We went down to New Orleans, first time I'd ever been there. I think first time you'd ever
I've
been
never been
there.
there, yeah. And our
We were
kids
there for
never.
several
Oh.
days. We brought two oldest boys with us. Our friend Leah came with us. That was her first time to ever see Dave, actually, the
Like in
full
person,
band.
yeah.
Jazz Fest in general was such a cool experience. If you've never been, highly recommend just checking it out. You didn't have to go for the whole weekend. We didn't. We just went for that day. But there were so many awesome musicians there. So many different. You had gospel, you had blues, you had jazz. Obviously, you had your mainstays like Dave Matthews Band, but there was a lot of other great bands, great singers, and they separate them out very well. They have huge tents, and there's misters and fans to keep you cool in most of those tents. So the food was, I mean, just amazing. I love Cajun food. And
Spicy food.
it did not disappoint.
Really
That was probably my favorite trip. Thanks to Marty McKinney for being
Big
our
thanks. Marty McKinney,
guide,
we love you.
our New Orleans guide. He's a tried and true Louisiana guy, and we love you, Marty. Thank you for showing us
Yeah.
everywhere around New Orleans the hot spots and the not so hot spots that might be some hidden gems.
Okay, here's a story I can't believe about myself, which is like every story I tell. We actually scored, and we scored 2 tickets to see Dave. We didn't know he was going to show up, but we did know he was going to show up.
What's Hall?
Preservation Hall. We got 2 tickets to go, and I mean, I knew Dave was going to be there. Like, I knew it. Sources had told me, and that's why we got tickets. And tickets were not easy to get, let me say. But again, it's just those connections of people. Thank God for all the people. But what's crazy is I pulled a 46-year-old mama, wife, tired thing and was like, babe, I don't think I can go. I think back to that now, and I'm like, what did I do? But that's okay. We our friends went in place of us, and of course it was magical for them, and I'm so thankful that they got that experience. But yeah, I can't believe that we what could you believe that I even asked?
I was very surprised that she said that she just was so tired and just exhausted because it wasn't going to start until 10:30.
Right, yeah.
So we knew we weren't going to get out of there and get back till probably 1:30 or 2, and we're old.
I don't know what it is. See, here's one of the wonderful things about Jazz Fest, in case you didn't know. It starts early and it gets over early.
Yeah,
You're
Jazz
done
Fest,
by
7 o'clock.
7, yeah.
That's the law. They have to be done, finish up at 7 o'clock. So you walk out of Jazz Fest, it's still daylight.
Heck yeah.
And there's people everywhere in the streets because you're in the middle of neighborhoods, and there's like street vendors cooking all kinds of food. There's brass bands everywhere, marching bands. I mean, the people just I love the atmosphere. Even when you walk out, it's amazing.
It was amazing. I mean, it was really awesome. So DMB went on stage at 5, which honestly I loved it. Now, I love being at a show where it's dark because there is something to say about the lighting. It is part of the show. It is part of the storytelling. It is part of the experience. And so we kind of missed out on that side of it. But Jazz Fest was amazing. I would go back even if DMB wasn't playing, which we know because the schedule's already come out for 2026 that Dave and Tim, Dave Matthews Band, any of them are not going to be there this year. So, I think they will be in the future.
Talking about for Jazz Fest?
Yeah, they're not going to be at Jazz Fest.
No, they released the Jazz Fest listing, but I don't expect them to be there every year. No. Probably every 3 or 4-ish.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful time to go to New Orleans too. April, the best time. It was warm, but not. There were
Scorching
parts that
hot.
were, a little bit sweaty, but it wasn't terrible. Again, the best time to be there because you can eat all the foods and walk around and you're not miserable. And it was such a great time. So definitely a highlight of 2025. I'm trying to think of if I can narrow it down to something that was of that. Plus, I got to go to Shoreline in California this year, which Shoreline was a venue that everyone said was wonderful. From talking to all the fans of DMB over and over, Shoreline was it always came up. And so when they released their schedule and they were going to be in California for 2 shows, I was like, I really want to do that. I want to go out west and see them because I don't that often. It's usually East Coast, Midwest, or that's about it.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in the space between those two. I don't know. I'm somewhere in there. So to go to the West Coast was super fun. Shoreline was amazing. I always have 2 tickets for every show because I always want Justin to be there with me. But of course, he cannot always be there with me and can't always just leave his job. Of course, because, it's a job and they want you to be there. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, you got to show up to make the
Gotta
money.
show up
I
and
don't
get
know.
paid, I guess.
It's crazy. It's a crazy whole thing. But I went and it was beautiful. It was just outside of San Francisco. So I got, I think I spent like 10 minutes in San Francisco. I had rented a car and I was like, I'm going to drive around. And then it was 10 minutes later. I was like, get the fuck out of here. This is crazy. I do not want any part of that.
All that traffic.
That was insane. So I went and it was about 45 minutes south of San Francisco and the venue was awesome and the set was awesome. And so right next to me again was Marty McKinney. He got to sit next to me and dude, his energy was just what I needed because he is like level 10. If you know anything about Marty, like he's identifiable at shows, like pictures at the show. You can point out Marty McKinney because he always wears these fluorescent colored everything,
Green,
right?
orange, yellow.
Like you're going to see Marty
right.
whether you want to or not. And so he was my seat partner. We had amazing seats. And just I fed off his energy and he fed off mine. And like it was awesome. We were the row just behind so you've got the seats. Well, we were still in seats, but there was like a sidewalk in between. So people were just passing by, like people do on the sidewalks. And, there was a couple times people stopped and watched us because we were giving them a show, not intentionally, but like we were level 10 fangirling and fanboying out. Like we were in the songs, we were singing every word, we were like giving high fives to strangers, we were doing all the things, right? And so it was super fun. I love Shoreline. I would definitely go back, but those trips can be a little expensive just based on where we live. And we're excited for some more Midwest shows that are drivable because, of course, that always saves money for us because flying out of XNA is not always easy. That's why I'm telling you to look at XNA now while it's cheap. Don't wait. Don't wait because we have a small airport. It's not international price. It's a national airport. When was the last time you went to a national airport? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that, because it probably hasn't been soon. But you fly to Arkansas, you get that national airport with that southern hospitality. Welcome to Northwest Arkansas. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I hope it all really happens. And again, if it does, you heard it here first. And I invite you to my pool party, which will be on May 10th.
I love that we get to host a pool party at somebody else's house.
Yeah. We don't have a pool. I mean, we have a pool, but like it's not in our backyard. And that sounds really weird. We have a community pool, so we don't have one in our backyard. And our community pool is not that big. It wouldn't fit all the people. So we have some good friends that hosted a party. If you came to Rogers last time, which was 2023, it's been 3 years. Our friends hosted a pool party. They have like the biggest yard. We're gonna be able to fit it. Look, I'm serious. If 1,000 people showed up, it would be overwhelming. And I'm sure there would be some police involved. However, we could fit you in the backyard. Like it's huge. It's maintained. It's gorgeous. You are not going to be disappointed by this. And so we're thankful that our friends have offered it up again. They love hosting. And it is so close to the venue.
Do they even know that you're hosting?
Yeah, we've already talked about it.
Okay, I'm just making sure. No. Sometimes I know you like to make plans without telling everybody.
No, this is not the first time. Mary, if you're listening to this and you're like, that chick hadn't even talked to me about this. I'm like, I reserved your backyard on May 11th. It was a verbal commitment, like no papers. But 2026 is exciting. But let's talk a little bit more about Christmas because that is what we're here for. That's what this whole episode is really intentional and intended to
Tended
be,
for.
yeah, Christmas themed. It's Christmas Eve today. What are some, just let's talk about some things we're thankful for from 2025. Things maybe we didn't expect, things that happened that we're just super thankful for that are maybe non-Dave related.
I mean, something that sounds simple to be thankful for, but people take it for granted. I know I do, but my health, thankful for being able to get out and run and exercise and go to the gym, and that I'm in a good headspace and a good physical space. Just thankful for my health this year. It's not been super challenging for me. I know you've had some health issues here and there, your back and your wrist, but overall, I feel like we're both very healthy, and we are, you know what? We're living the best lives.
Right
We're just
now.
living our best
Yeah,
lives.
never been a better time to be alive than right now. We're so happy that we were born in 79 and 80 because we have just seen so much, just like everyone else does as they grow up and grow old. And, you see the world change so much. But I think that we're living in an amazing time where we really have got to see a lot of change. And we're thankful for the changes that we've seen. We still have a long ways to go, but, love is the answer. And not everyone is down for that. So, until then, there will always be war and always be angry people, but we're thankful. I reflect a lot about that. Matter of fact, I watched Gone with the Wind or part of it last night because that's a 3-hour film. I can't commit to that. Like, maybe if it was Dave Matthews Band show, I can commit. Okay. No issues there. But Gone with the Wind, I had never watched it. And it has its place in movie history, of course. It's very famously known. It was the released in 1939, which, we're coming up close to 100 years of that being released. And one of the first things that it says before the movie starts, and I counted how long they let that up there for you to read because they thought it was so important that you read this before the show started. And it just really stated how that we had to know about the past before we can be thankful for where we are. And that's something that they wanted to pull from Gone with the Wind. It's setting the time setting. Of course, it came out in 1939, but the setting is in the 1800s during the Civil War. So there was a lot of things happening in the late 1800s that were terrible. And so I took all that and I looked at then life and I looked at now life. And while nothing is perfect and there still is so much hate and division and racism and all of the things, we've come a long way. And I think that we are still going the right way, and that gives me hope for the future. It makes, like the movie said, you have to know about the past so that you can appreciate the future and so that you can see that the changes are happening. Not as fast as what we'd like, and definitely not in all the areas that we would like, but it's good to have good news, and I feel like that's good news, and so I'm always trying to look at negative things in a positive way. That's just the way I think in general is like, let's look at all this negativity and what are some good things we can pull from that, because that's all we have. We can't control the things that are happening, not necessarily not in full control. And so it's good to pick out the silver linings. And so that is something I'm thankful for, is how I don't know, just never been a better time to be alive. And I say that all of the time. I'm so thankful to be alive. I'm so thankful for my family and for my friends. And I'm thankful for just, I mean, there's nothing that I'm not thankful for. There's still a lot of things I'm working on in my life. And I think that that's something that we all strive to be every year, is, just a little bit better every year, and to learn our lessons from mistakes that we've made each year. Because I mean, I've made my fair share of mistakes in 2025 and in all the years the past. And I'm sure some of you may have as well, but we learn from those things. And I'm
Part of it's
thankful.
called, yeah, it's called growth. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got to grow. We got to continue to grow. We got to continue to look at each other and see more than just the person in front of you. You want to look and want to see inside their heart, and you just want to spread that joy and that love as much as you can into other people. And as you mentioned earlier, when you said that I fill your cup and you fill my cup, and I learned a long time ago that it's hard to spread that kind of love and joy to other people whenever your own cup is not full.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something that I've always tried to carry with me and think about, try to keep joy and love in my heart and keep it overflowed with my family, my friends, my work, everything that's around me so that I can continue to fill other people's as well.
I love that about you.
No,
Because
thank
that
you.
really is truly his personality, and almost sometimes to a fault, I tell him, but I'm so thankful for Justin and the support that he's given me over this podcast, because one thing that maybe you don't know, this has not been easy. This has not been easy to grow this podcast to the size it is now and to have the listeners that it does now. It's taken a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of time away from things that I needed to spend more time in, just with my family, just with time, with money, with all of the things. But I'm so thankful that he had just stayed the course with me, and just every time I would go, just believe, just I'm going to do this, like this is going to happen, and it has. And
Big things will continue to happen, I
yeah.
feel like. So
Yeah,
I'm
just
proud. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. And I couldn't be more excited of all the things you've accomplished and still yet to
I know.
accomplish.
I think 2026 is going to bring some big news. Actually, I know it's going to. There's some things we'll talk about in 2026, but you'll have to wait until
You'll have to
then.
stay tuned.
Yeah, you'll have
and
to stay
listen.
tuned. If you're not following the show, here's one way that you can help us. If you want to give us a gift for Christmas or just in general, here's what you can do. And it's going to cost you no money. It's just going to cost you a little bit of your time, maybe 5 seconds or so. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, just look at the podcast that you're listening to right now, the space between podcasts. And there's a way that you can give it stars, from 1 to 5, and you can also leave a review. What that helps is when you do that, it helps push out this podcast so that other people with similar interests may then find this podcast. And so it helps to rank it up. If you're watching this on YouTube, which if you didn't know, I think I've mentioned it once so far, you can watch almost all of my episodes on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing our faces, or if you're more of a visual person in general, check this out on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like,
and
share, do all
subscribe.
the things, because again, that just helps me. I can't do that for myself, but that's where you guys come in. If you've loved the show, which I know so many of you do, just be sure to help me continue to be able to do this by making sure that more people know about this, because that's how this works. You have to know about it first, right? And not everyone is on social media. So tell a friend that loves Dave, have them check out a couple episodes. Like I said, if you don't find the right one, there's plenty you can choose. Each one is very different. But just so thankful for the help I've had. Lex is making an announcement right now. So I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I think we're supposed to be leaving.
Yeah, we're going to be leaving here pretty
Yeah,
soon.
we're going to that party I was telling you about. So I guess that means, hey, we better wrap up the episode, because Alexa says
It's time to go.
leave. And we better mind her, because she keeps us on schedule.
Yes, she does.
With 4 kids, 2 crazy adults with crazy schedules, and doing all the things, bowling leagues, podcasts, all the things that we do. We have to stay on schedule. And so Alexa's pushing us off, but that doesn't mean that we were just so happy to do that. I'm so happy that you did this with me. It's always fun to get to do it with him. When we sat down to record this, he was like, do you know what we're going to say? And I was like, man, we're just going to wing it like I do every single episode. I don't ever have like a plan. Like it just happens. But I like the way that flows. And I've heard other people say, it doesn't sound like you're scripted or rehearsed. Well, guess not.
No.
There's no script, and I never rehearse. So I just show up and show out. Like I said, that's what I do. If it's good, good. If it's bad, I'm sorry, go to the next one. Like whatever. It's cool. But we do wish you such a Merry Christmas, whether you're listening to this today on Christmas Eve. I know a lot of you are around the world, so maybe even Merry Christmas to you. And I hope that everyone that's listening to this in the United States just has a great Christmas tomorrow. I hope it's full of love, laughter, music. And if you have family and friends around, I hope that you get some time with them too. In the meantime, be sure to stay tuned on the socials. That is where you're going to get the information. That is where you're going to see, hey, what's coming out next. We've got some big plans coming out in just a few days. January it's a show up and show out month. That's what we're doing in January.
You'll be ground running.
Stay tuned, guys. There's so many things exciting ahead. Just in a few days. We're almost to 2026. And so with that, guys, stay tuned. Stay warm wherever you may be. Today it is like 70 something degrees in Arkansas.
That's why I'm wearing my tropical
We've
gear.
got our best holiday gear on here, and it's awesome. But enjoy the heat. It is an interesting year in weather this year for most of us in the nation, and so we send all the love. And in the meantime, guys, Peace,
Peace,
love,
love,
and
Dave Matthews Band. Love you.